Now reconvene and take up file item number 15, update on Interim Science Action Agenda. Lindsay, welcome.
Thank you. I think Peter's going to start off with a few words.
Peter, welcome.
Perhaps I can just make a couple of very introductory remarks to put this in context. As I mentioned yesterday, that we're taking a number of steps to implement the priority actions which you identified in the Delta Science Plan. And this is an extremely important component. And the Science Action Agenda is the implementation plan, but I wanted to just put that in the context of other elements of the science plan. If you recall, the Delta Science Plan runs on a 4-year cycle. And within that, there are two major elements. One is the Science Action Agenda, the work plan or the implementation plan. The other is the state of Bay Delta science. So the Science Action Agenda says what's going to be done and why. And then the state of the Bay Delta science basically says what has the science done for you? Did it answer the questions that it was intended to? Have big steps been made? Is it worth continuing down that path of investigation? But with both of these big reports, and as we are relying heavily on many, many others, these need to be offset. So I just want to explain why it's the Interim Science Action Agenda and not the Science Action Agenda. There's two reasons for that. The first is, and I see Dr. Collier sitting there in the back, Lindsay and the staff have done a really good job talking with the other major ecosystem restoration programs around the country. And what we learned, particularly from colleagues in the Puget Sound, is that to do a science action agenda is really at least a 2-year endeavor. And we realize that we cannot wait for that. So the Interim Science Action Agenda is something to get us started. It also will help set apart on that 2-year cycle. It will separate the state of the Bay Delta science, which is currently, we're just in the process of starting that, and when the full Science Action Agenda will come in place in about 2 years from now. So I just wanted to give that as an introduction and perhaps preempt some of the questions about the word interim there. But Lindsay and I think all of the staff have just totally engaged in this. It's probably the biggest thing we've got going this year. So Lindsay, tell us where it sits.
All right.